All right, True Crime Grapevine fans, hi, it's me, Patty Lee, and I said at the end of episode 45, which I've named Crazy Mother Effers, Momsters and Stepmonsters, that I would go through my sort of 2 out of 3 is bad list. So here's what I have for you, and I would like to know if you agree and what you think. I need to now read what I wrote, so old lady glasses. Here we go. So, what is very interesting is 2 out of the 3 didn't report them missing for months or ever, and they lied, right? Like we have the Wests and Letitia, right? And now we have Noel and it's more than 2 out of 3 because now also Noel's family lied, and so did the case with what was the other little boy's name? The boy and the 2 girls. I'm just gonna go. This little boy, Edgar. So that's what we have there, which I find is interesting. Again, there is a pattern. When people don't report their own kids or their stepkids when they're missing, we have a problem. 2 out of 3, at least, appear to involve mental illness. That's the Vallow case and the Stout case, obviously. Not legally insane, but some hoo-hoo. Yeah, 2 out of 3 involve adopted children. Lori Vallow adopted JJ. The Wests adopted Sincere and Classic. What is going on? Like, it's weird that you would adopt kids and then hurt them. 2 out of 3 there were biological relatives who would have taken the children. In the Vallow case, at more than 2 out of 3, Kay and Larry would have taken them. In the West case, their grandmother and aunt said they would have taken them. In the case with Edgar and the 2 little girls, they were with their grandmother who was fine with them, and they were taken away from them, and the mother was concerned. 2 out of 3 deaths were likely second degree or out of anger, abuse when angry. So I think we can say in the Letitia Stout case and with regards to the Wests, it seems like, especially with the West, it seems like one was out of anger and then they just decided to send the other one with, kind of like the authorities. Oh, keep them together. I don't know. What do you think about that analogy? I also don't know about the Edgar Cassian case. I mean, he was drowned in the shower. His sisters were also in that shower. They didn't drown. Was it just the way he experienced that sort of water torture? I don't know. 2 out of 3 of the children were either other children had helped or were possibly aware. So in the West case, we know that one of the charges is that one of the children helped in the commission of the crime. In the Vallow case, we know that Tylee was somewhat aware probably of what happened to Charles Vallow, and we know that when she heard her mom calling her a zombie, she was like, no, Mom, don't, because she knew that was her mom's clue that somebody was going to be and also we know that the children, that Harley was 17 and kind of helped Letitia. That's a third one. And then even, I'm sure the other children knew we know that in Edgar's case, the other 2 told the police what happened. But it seemed like maybe some of those older kids of the girlfriend's 5 other kids may have helped. We're still unsure about what happened with the Alvarez case, the Noel. So the thing is, we are involving, in each of these cases, not only are the siblings hurt, but they seem to have witnessed or be involved in the unaliving of their sibling or half-sibling. That is disgusting and damaging. Ugh. And then that sort of perpetuates the abuse cycle for sure. And in 2 out of 3 at least, these bodies were hidden but eventually found. Like in the Vallow case, they hid the children and they were eventually found. In the Stout case, Gannon was eventually found. In the Edgar Cassian case, he was eventually found 5 minutes from his house. We haven't found Sincere and Classic yet, which is horrible. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of. These cases tended to have a lot of things in common in them. So my other question, as you know, is always, so what can we do about it? I don't know. I think we need to support parents who are struggling and have multiple children, especially when these are children of special needs. That was one of the things. I don't think I put that. 2 out of 3 of the 2 out of those 3 cases at least had special needs victims. The little Alvarez boy, Noel. We know JJ was autistic. We know that Sincere and Classic had developmental issues. They're the most vulnerable among us. And also in the Noel case, they kept saying that Noel hadn't been in school. Now, I have a email out to a professor. I don't know what she's going to think because I talked first like an educator and then mentioned, hey, I'm on YouTube, which, doesn't always bode well because, as we know, some YouTubers are a little over the top. But she had written an article, authored an article in the National Institute of, Health and Medicine. I don't know if it was NIM funded or if the article was published by NIM, or that's how I pronounce that acronym. But it was about, in Texas, how neonatal, NICU infants are followed up with educationally. And I found out Texas does have, the program that I taught. Nationally, if your child is disabled, especially from birth, you can get services in your home. I have a neighbor who has a baby who was born very, very early. You can get PT, physical therapy, OT, occupational therapy, speech, and just educational therapy at home, birth to 3, preschool age. At preschool, then you can get free preschool services, and the teachers are all master's level educated. They know how to run these programs, and there's half typical for modeling practices, half special needs in the class, as well as OT comes in, PT, so occupational therapy. That's your fine motor, how to use your fingers, writing, cutting, that type of things, doing things for yourself, self-care, being able to do food, small motor. Then there's gross motor. That's the physical therapy, learning how to walk better, learning how to move, get down from a chair, or if you have anything physically that you need to work on, how to use your equipment. Then there's speech therapy, which is obviously learning to communicate more effectively. And if you're autistic, that's a very big part of it. So you get all these services for free if you're disabled. It's paid for by the state. It's run out of your county. Usually housed maybe in a local public school, but it's paid for by the county. The county is also the one that runs the program 0 to 3, the in-house, where they go and make visits, all these people. So the fact that this child was a miracle baby, I'm talking about the Everman, Texas case of Noel Rodriguez Alvarez, who is missing. He's 6. Because he was born, it's still very, a high percentage of children don't make it that are born at that, at week 25 even now. And, because you're supposed to be gestating 40 weeks. The fact that she wasn't rich. So she was poor, and he still made it, and he seemed to be living in a very precarious position in this, a non-relative, good, generous man's house, and then he's living in a shed, or maybe he stayed in the house, but it wasn't optimal. I don't know what kind of food she got, but I bet it wasn't the most like healthy organic. I don't know, maybe it was. But it just seems like he had a lot of disadvantages and still made it. But this woman who found a free place to live, found immigrant husband or boyfriend after boyfriend, somehow didn't know, and she would have been told about the free care, maybe because she was living in her car at first, maybe because she was drinking all the time and running into things and on parole. I don't know, maybe she didn't want extra people looking at her lifestyle, and that can be a problem if you're afraid of the authorities. You know, look at what happened to Sincere and Classic's family. I bet they wouldn't just invite anybody in because those people rip your kids away. So that's a real fear. So maybe that's why. But at 5, he should have been required to go to school by state law. And that's what I don't understand. Why he was not. And this was, the pandemic has been, especially in Texas, they've been ignoring it for at least over a year. It doesn't exist there. I mean, I'm not saying everybody in Texas isn't masking if there's a high, you all know what I mean. So why? Why? What was going on? All right, so yeah, that's my little ending thing. I just had those leftover questions of, you know, and like Lori pulled her kid out of school. Do they not, and we know that the 2 kids in Washington, the dad with the girlfriend who they, you know, took off to Mexico, they stop sending their kids to school or don't send their kids to school. Is that a sign something bad is happening? Which makes teachers reporting, that's a 2 out of 3 is bad. That's 3 cases in which kids either weren't in school or disappeared from school when they should have been, especially the ones with special needs. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Put those in the comments. I'm going to start working on my book report series for you about the Lori Vallow case. So I'll have that all ready to go before the case. Hopefully the trial starts, which we expect jury selection to take through Friday. But I'm hopefully going to get it done by Wednesday, so we're ahead of the game. Anyways, and if you were affected by the tornado outbreak, if you're in the States, I'm so sorry. Or any of the bad atmospheric rivers and the crazy floods. I watch a lot of weather. Big Ryan Hall fan on YouTube, and it was horrific the other night, Friday night, with the tornadoes. And we're expecting another bad outbreak Tuesday and Wednesday. So everybody out there, stay safe. Watch as much YouTube as you can. But you know, have your basement ready. Don't be scared. Be prepared, right? Have your helmet and your shoes to go outside in case you need to climb out of a basement or a bathroom. Your interior rooms. Have a helmet on. Have a mattress if you don't have a basement. Have a mattress to pull over the tub. And stay safe out there, you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.